welcome back to Barely Filtered. Just in case you haven't heard the news, I am officially an engaged woman. I know that is very upsetting to all the men out there who listen to my podcast, which is absolutely zero people. So I'm very happy to be engaged. It was a really exciting, it was exciting. I did kind of know that it was going to happen. I know only because I know that he asked my dad in July when we were back in Rhode Island. He is the worst at keeping secrets. Like his face gets really red. He brought all these cigars to Rhode Island and then proceeded to YouTube how to smoke cigars because he didn't know how. My dad's a cigar smoker and he knew that. And then he asked my dad to go outside and smoke a cigar with him one night. And when he came back in, he was beet red and super grinny. And I just knew the whole time. And then he was asking me about what kind of rings I liked. And I told him I liked an emerald bezel. And I told him that I was size, just randomly, kind of in passing, I was yeah. And just so you know, I'm size 4.75, just in case you're wondering. Turns out I'm absolutely not a size 4.75. So when we were in Paris, he got down on one knee. I did not know that he was going to do it at this particular time. And he shows me the ring. I think it's beautiful. I put it on. It literally barely goes past my first knuckle. I'm freaking out because, I want this thing on my goddamn finger. I'm not listening to anything he's saying, by the way. I start noticing this woman who's taking pictures, but also has her iPhone strapped to this apparatus. And I'm looking at her thinking, you're doing it all wrong. There's chairs blocking blocking your view of us. She's all shaky. I'm having notes for her as she's taking a video of us. And then I'm not listening to what he's saying. The ring's not going on my finger. I shove it over my knuckle. So it's on, but my finger looks like a straight up sausage. It's black and blue and swollen. I actually didn't even say yes. We the next day, we were kind of going over what happened, and I don't think I ever answered him. I think still to this day, I think it's pending, and I'm going to need to follow up and circle back and let him know. I think maybe I guess I'm still considering it. I do have the ring on though, so I guess that means that I said yes. Anyway, so after he asks me, so I guess I'll back up a little bit. We had this romantic boat ride on the river that he had planned. And I thought maybe he was going to do it there. So he brings me to the Luxembourg Gardens, which is beautiful, but we had just been there the day before, and it was kind of a dreary afternoon. So I was kind of okay, I don't really know why we're going back to these gardens when we just saw them yesterday and it was really beautiful. Yesterday we got our pictures then, but I wasn't going to, I wanted to be grateful for this evening that he planned. So I was okay, we walk over there. I have these boots on and this jacket that I had bought earlier in the day. I was a little afraid it was going to start to rain on my new Saint Laurent 1980s leather jacket. And these boots were, we had been walking around Florence, Tuscany, and Paris for the last 10 days. I'm in these gardens and I'm literally okay, the boat doesn't leave for an hour and a half. I'm saying to him, I really have to pee. I don't know where there's a bathroom. Also, I need a Band-Aid for my feet. So I'm asking, can we stop at a pharmacy? Can we walk around? And he's kind of just well, for the love of God, will you shut up? He's trying to have this romantic time with me in the garden because unknown to me, he was he was planning on proposing to me there. But I thought if anything, it would be on the boat. Cause in my head, I'm why would you propose to me on this beautiful river in front of the Eiffel Tower on the boat? I didn't think it would be at the garden. So I'm literally asking him, I'm walking away to find this public restroom. And then I'm complaining to him that I need Band-Aids for my feet. He thinks this is a good time to be wait, come back. I have to ask you something. He starts proposing to me And I realize what's happening, and I'm like, God damn it. Like I feel like I ruined the mood already by just like complaining for the last 10 minutes. But evidently he still thought it was a good time. He gets down on one knee. Then I see this woman who's just like circling around us, trying to capture what's happening. He gets down, he gives me the ring. The ring doesn't fit. I get it over my knuckle. I don't say yes, I guess, but it's implied. And then we go on the boat and we're taking these pictures. The boat was really beautiful. The Eiffel Tower lights up at night. She's on the boat with us too. It's not a big boat. She takes, I've modeled for much of my life and I know about content and taking photos. There's only so many shots you can get from so many different angles when you're sitting in front of somebody clicking your camera and we're literally just like sitting next to each other looking at the Eiffel Tower. And Zach also is not somebody who likes being in front of a camera. So he's not really enjoying himself on this boat ride because this woman is just snapping photos of us nonstop. I'm like trying to figure out, is there like another shot we could get that could be cool? Zach's like, okay, well, why don't we like sit up on top of this little ledge on the boat? So I get up there. And then as I'm trying to get down, I step on their beautiful leather cushion and my Paris, Texas stiletto boots go right through the leather. Okay. So cha-ching, that's going to cost him. It's going to cost something. I don't know if he got charged for that yet, but I definitely stuck my heel right through their leather cushion, which is like the stupidest thing. So anyway, we got the shots. Then by this time, my finger is really starting to turn blue. Like it's getting more swollen by the second. I'm actually starting to kind of panic because I can't get it off. Like it's stuck on my finger. And then I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the ring and I'm kind of like, it looks kind of weird on my finger. And I'm kind of panicking about like, is it my finger? Is it the ring? I don't know. Like, is this, and all I want to do is like be grateful in the moment. But it's just, I feel like that's just how it goes. Like these moments that you dream up in your head and this is all I've wanted for such a long time, like find the love of my life, which I really have. He asks me to be with him for the rest of our lives. Like what could be better? And I'm over here like, my finger is a sausage. What is happening here? Literally in my head, this is what's going through. I'm like, is there such thing as knuckle surgery? Like, can I get my knuckle just shaved down a little bit? It would look so much better with this ring. If it was just like, instead of like having a little bulbous like knuckle, I could just have like, because I don't think I have very nice hands. So in my head, I'm like already planning knuckle surgery for when I come home. He just wants to marry me. And we go to the dinner. In the middle of dinner, I'm like, I need to take this ring off. I'm panicking. I pull it off I finally got it off. I had to use like butter from our dinner table. And then the next day we're like, okay, we got to try to find somebody in Paris who will like stretch this ring out for us. So we walk around, we go to like 5 different jewelry stores. Nobody will touch it. Nobody wants people are like, okay, we can send it away. And then like in 2 weeks. And we're like, no, we don't have 2 weeks. We need it today. We're leaving tomorrow. Finally, we found somebody who said that they could do it. But then I guess in Europe, they don't. So my ring is 14 karat gold on the band because it doesn't scratch as much and it's more durable. And it's like a little bit of a lighter color gold. It's pretty common in the US. Well, Europeans only use 18 karat gold. And if you know the French, they can be a little snooty. And basically they were like, your band is not 18 karat gold. We cannot do anything with that. We will not even touch it. And by the way, 4.75 is only a size that you'll find on like a 14-year-old Vietnamese girl. So your fingers are much too sausagey for us. And I'm like, okay, that is so rude, but thank you very much. And I'm like, I do wish I had like little dainty hands, but unfortunately. And then now the joke is just like that I have like these woolly mammoth hands. But anyway, came home, got the ring stretched, and now it fits me perfectly. And it's very beautiful. And it's just this it's a really beautiful, clear white diamond. And I'm so grateful. And he did a great job. So good job, Zach. That was very stressful while, just not being able to fit it on my finger, but I am really happy. And I posted, of course, and for some reason, I really haven't been in the mood to share a whole lot because I don't know if it's just an accumulation of things. I think, so I made this reel kind of about like my divorce journey that went pretty viral. When something goes viral, yeah, it's great for engagement. I think I gained like 10,000 followers, but you just leave yourself susceptible to so many people's opinions on your life. And Zach said this to me, which just makes so much sense. He's like, it's like going down the street to like the local like pub where you find like, all different people there and just being like, hey guys, what do you think about my life choices and like my life? And getting everybody's input. And it's just a lot. And also I made a reel right after that one that also went viral. That was like my ex-husband, my new partner, Zach. And I mentioned something about like how they get along great. And that also found the strangest corner of the internet. I think I told you guys about that, where comments were just, oh my God, I had to go in and because my kids, only the back of my kids were in it, but because they were in it, I just felt like I needed to get rid of these negative comments. There's a couple keywords I had to completely ban because so many people used it. Like, okay, the word cook. And then there's another word that means like somebody who likes to watch their partner have sex with somebody else. I can't think of the word, but evidently a million people know that word and used it. And I don't know, after just getting so many, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands of comments from people about my personal life, I haven't really felt like sharing. And I wasn't really super excited to like share my engagement because I just know like people are judgmental. And even though I'm 36 years old and have, been through a lot of life, I think, and I've had a podcast and an Instagram where I'm sharing my life constantly, I'm still sensitive to hearing other people's negativity. I think that I'm definitely one of those people who like, I can kind of absorb the vibe of a space and I'm like very sensitive to the vibe of a space. And like, I think that can also apply to virtual reality, like the vibe of my Instagram or the vibe of like my podcast Instagram and the comments I'm getting there, because I'm not getting immediate feedback from you guys here, but I sure get feedback. So I'm definitely getting it, whether it's DMs or comments. And anyway, so like, I just didn't feel like announcing my engagement because I didn't feel like seeing the inevitable comments of people being like, already, because, I just went public with him, I think in April. So that's 6 months ago. I mean, we've been like dating since January, but it still hasn't even been a full year. For me, it doesn't like, that's not, I just feel like when I really do think that that's true. I know people who, have been together for many years and just got engaged. And it's like, they say, well, we knew 6 months in. It's like, I'm 36 years old. Well, it's the point of waiting longer when I know I want more kids. And like, do I wait longer so that society thinks I'm a more practical person? My kids are thrilled. They're like, oh, amazing. Does this mean we get a dog? Like, kids are so interesting. We lose so much sleep thinking that certain decisions are going to traumatize them. Like, oh man, the amount of sleep I lost about the divorce for my kids. And they, they're super resilient and the things they care about are so short-sighted that it's worrying just does absolutely nothing. And they're thrilled. They love Zach. And now they think we're getting a dog. So I don't know how that literally Sophie, my sister, was like, oh, what do you think about the news that your mom and Zach are getting married? And Soleil literally goes, yeah, they're getting married because we're getting a dog. Like she thinks that like getting the dog is actually the event. And then like, we're getting married so we can be married for the dog, which whatever makes you feel good. That works for me. She's thrilled. And Remy loves it too. I don't know why Remy thinks Remy's so funny. He's like, honestly, he wants a new bedroom and I don't blame him because I've been renting this place for the last 3 years, and it's a really cute little house, but like he's kind of outgrown his room, and he's like, oh yeah, mom, you need to get married because we need to get a different house. I don't want to live in this bedroom anymore. Honestly, that's probably what I would have been like when I was little too. I would have been like, okay, well, does he have a house? That's perfect. Let's just go there then. But actually Zach has a house in Topanga that he rents out because Topanga is like in the middle of nowhere. And he has a house in Salt Lake City, and then he rents a house, just like a little like bachelor pad in Venice because he wanted to be closer to me on the west side of LA. And Soleil's been to his house. Remy has never been. Last night, a lot has been happening. The refinery near my house blew up. So we were driving back from my sister's husband's game on the 49ers. He was playing the Rams. You're driving back. I literally see this explosion. We're Googling it. It's telling us that we have to possibly go somewhere else. And so we're like, okay, well, we'll sleep at Zach's house. Remy's so excited. Soleil literally she goes, Remy, Zach barely has even a little bit of a house. She's like, his house is so small. You don't even want to see it. It's really nothing much. And Zach's just like, okay. And then even actually right now, because I'm recording in Venice, and I let them skip school today because I was in Europe and I felt guilty. And this is just what I do. When I come back, I'm like, and you guys don't have to go to school on Friday for like absolutely no reason. And then this morning, I'm like, God damn it. Why did I tell them I didn't have to go to school? So Remy's actually at Zach's house right now. Again, this morning, Soleil's like, Remy, Zach's house is literally this big. And she's like holding her hands up like 6 inches. And Zach's like, okay, all right, calm down. But the next step to our relationship, which feels very off, I mean, just kind of backwards to the way people usually do things in very Aurora fashion. We don't even live together yet, but we're going to buy a house on the west side of LA, and move in by February, because that's when my lease is up. So if you guys listen to my podcast, you know I was in Europe not very long ago in June. And when Zach got invited to this wedding in Florence, I was like, oh yeah, let's definitely go. End of September feels so far away. I don't know, but right before we were leaving, like the last thing I wanted was to go away again. And part of it is having kids. He doesn't have any kids, so it's a little bit of not a point of contention between us, but just like, it's something kind of that we're not quite on the same page about, which is traveling. He loves to travel. I used to love to travel, and then I had kids, and it just feels like I don't love it as much as I used to. So we went to Florence, and what I remembered about my last trip is like, having wine on the airplane like makes your jet lag worse. And, having Aperol Spritz at lunch every day kind of makes you feel crazy by the end of the trip. I mean, at least for me, I think I just have like a sensitive disposition to alcohol. It really I can't drink every day for 10 days on a vacation and then be good at the end. I'm not well. I feel like it makes me miss my kids more. It makes me like more panicky about being away. So this trip I barely drank, which made it a little bit difficult because we were there, with all of his friends and some of these people I don't really know yet. And I think while I was there, I just kind of realized that, I don't know whether it's because I'm getting old or my sense of adventure is just lost. But while I was in Italy, I straight up was like, I like New Jersey and New York Italian food better than Italian food in Italy. People and everybody's like, oh, you like, it's not like I want to be, I'm not complaining. I love like wild boar pappardelle. That's like you can find that on every menu in Florence. It's amazing. But like, do I want to eat that every day for 10 days? No. I feel like when you go to Italy, depending on the region you're in, like they're very pure to what they eat in that place. And when we were in Ischia, it was like rabbit and linguine alla vongole, which is linguine with clams. And then in Florence, it's like wild boar, and they make their bread a certain way that they don't use salt. And I'm a little bit of a foodie in a way that like, I guess my food, like I used to be a foodie in a way where I want to try all different things, but now I'm a foodie in a different way where I'm like very specific about how I like things done. And you're not going to get that when you're traveling all the time. That's a little bit of something that, like, I think it's something that happens as you get older, where you're just like, I want to eat the food that I like every day. And you can't do that when you're traveling. I'm like becoming this like old lady who's like, I want my eggs this way. Even in France, I got eggs Benedict. The Benedict sauce, the hollandaise sauce, cold. And I was like, oh, is this supposed to be cold? They're like, yeah, like traditionally it's supposed to be cold on the eggs. And I'm like, well, you guys are doing it wrong, because it's way better not cold. But evidently it's supposed to be like a little coagulated. I don't know. I'm literally annoying myself hearing myself talk about this, but I have a lot of opinions on the way the Europeans are doing their food right now. And that, I know Europe is a large place, but I'm just going to make that blanket statement. I mean, I don't know. I just think New York has in LA and certain places too, has some of the best Italian food. And I would say it's hard to find like food as good as American Italian food in Italy. So that was one of the things, one of the epiphanies that I came to while I was over there. But you know what I will say? It's nice. The wine there, you can't get a bad bottle of wine, and nothing is over like $20. Like a $20 bottle of wine here, you're going to feel like absolute garbage just from like one or two glasses, like Miomi. Remember I used to drink that and it was like good. And now they change it. I think they put more sulfates or the chemicals or the pesticides, the way they make the wine in the US. They jack up the prices. It's expensive and it makes you feel like shit. You can't get bad wine in Italy or France. I literally like did not have one bad glass of wine, and then you don't feel hungover at all from like two glasses of wine, which if I had it in the US, I feel like something about like the sugar or the pesticides or something just makes it feel worse. But so basically I'm a curmudgeon when it comes to traveling. I really have absolutely no desire to travel for a long time. I felt really bad about being away from my kids. They did absolutely fine without me. I always miss them more than they miss me. They love being with their dad. And yeah, but like, I just love my routine. I love my workout classes. I love the food that I like to eat. And I just don't really have any desire to travel anymore. So, and the jet lag, is it worth it? I don't know. I just don't think it is. I think I'm going to stay put for a long time. Or if I go somewhere, it's going to be like just on my longitudinal like time zone. So there will be no time change because I am so jet lagged right now. And yeah, that was my last few weeks. I hope you enjoyed my rant about my engagement, my sausage fingers, my knuckle surgery coming up. Just kidding. And how, I prefer food in America to abroad, which I know is a very controversial topic. Thank you for listening. See you guys next week.